The legendary Air Force hurricane hunters aren't the only ones flying into tropical systems. Indeed, the Hurricane Research Division of NOAA also does reconnaissance into storms, and some of the data they collected last weekend from Hurricane Sam really caught my eye. But first, a quick update on the Atlantic hurricane season so far. 19 named storms, we've reached the letter T for only the 6th time. But having said that, 9 of those 19 lasted 2 days or less as a named storm, what are informally called shorties, tying 2007 for the most of these short-lived storms on record in an Atlantic tropical season. In contrast, Hurricane Sam may end up being the longest-lasting and strongest storm of the season. Last Sunday, its maximum winds reached 150 miles per hour, tied with Ida for the highest sustained winds in an Atlantic hurricane this year. Now, at that time, Sam was beyond the reach of the Air Force hurricane hunters. They don't fly east of 55 degrees longitude, but the NOAA hurricane hunters were there, releasing sensors tethered to parachutes called dropsondes that measure temperature, wind, moisture, and pressure as they fall to the ocean below. I'd like to show you data from 2 of those releases. First, from inside the eye. Let me orient you on this diagram. The vertical axis is pressure. It's in millibars. The higher you go, the lower the pressure. I've also shown height in feet above the ocean. The horizontal axis is temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. The red graph is temperature. Green is dew point. The temperature at around 8,500 feet where the dropsonde was released was a balmy 68 degrees. The eye of a hurricane is a relatively warm place. Now, for the first 1,000 feet or so, the temperature and the dew point are not the same. We would say the air is unsaturated, in simpler terms, no clouds. But then the dropsonde fell into cloudy air the rest of the way down. The temperature and dew point graphs are right on top of each other. Also, here's the wind direction and speed. Notice the eye of this hurricane wasn't calm, just a bit breezy, of order 20 knots. Now compare that with this data from the eye wall, the ring of powerful thunderstorms around the eye. Note here the temperature and dew point graphs are the same all the way down. After all, the dropsonde is falling through heavy thunderstorms. The wind speeds here are easily of hurricane force. And check out this one observation, 170 knots, about 1,000 feet up. This indicates that the sensor probably fell through what's called a mesovortex, an intense, small-scale rotational feature in the eye wall. Also notice how the wind direction changed as the dropsonde fell, from easterly higher up to more northerly and westerly near the surface. That's because the wind literally rotated the dropsonde almost halfway around the storm from the time it left the plane until it splashed into the ocean. Given a couple disturbances way out in the Atlantic right now, it's nearly certain we'll get to the V-storm Victor soon. That would be only the 3rd time that 20 storms have been named in a season. Stay tuned. The extended forecast is next.